Betrayal, secrets, revenge, redemption, a perfect family shattered by lies. One man fights to save what's left. Coming soon, don't miss the twist that changes everything. Hey guys, what's up? It's Jake Morrison here, and let me tell you 3 things you never wanna hear before the sun. Even up. A coyote digging through your trash, your wife's voice coming from some hotel room that ain't yours, or a mechanic going, "Buddy, you gotta drive straight to the cops." Yeah, I hit the trifecta that morning. Up until 3 months ago, I thought I knew rock bottom. Turns out I was still floating somewhere near the surface, totally clueless. So here's how it all kicked off. My piece of junk Honda decides to die on Highway 47, maybe 20 miles out of our mid-sized, half-dead town, you know, the kind where the factories used to mean something before they all shut down. I was heading back from what was supposed to be a surprise visit to Clara's law conference in Denver. Surprise, right? Just not the kind I had in mind. I limped the car into King's Auto Repair. This squat little shop wedged between a sketchy mattress place and a check-cashing joint that is probably laundering more cash than it has handing out. The neighborhood's the type where streetlights flicker and give up early. King himself looks like he's been wrenching on cars since the Model T grease-stained overalls. Permanent scowl lines etched into his face. "Alternators toast," he grumbles, wiping his hands on a rag that's seen better decades. Then his eyes go wide like he just saw a ghost. He pops my trunk, peers in, and his face drains white as fresh snow. "Jesus Christ," he whispers, slamming it shut so fast I thought he'd snap the latch. "You gotta drive to the police station. Right now, I'm standing there, confused as hell." "What are you talking about, man?" His hands are shacking as he fishes a beat-up business card from his pocket. Numbers are so faded I can barely read them. "Call this. Say code red. Your wife set you up, pal. Whatever's in that trunk ain't Christmas presents." My blood turns to ice. "A package?" "The kind that gets you 20 to life if the wrong people find it, or the right ones, depending on how you look at it." King's eyes are darting to the street like he's waiting for black SUVs to come screaming around the corner. "I've seen this before," he says. "Somebody's using you as a mule." Mule, drug runner, sucker, and then it hits me. Clara, my wife of 18 years, mom to our daughter, the woman who's been working late nights, taking weird calls in the bathroom, buying lingerie I never saw her wear. The same woman who insisted I take her car to Denver 'cause mine was unreliable. The same woman whose voice I heard that morning through a hotel door, laughing and moaning with some guy who sure as hell wasn't me. I dial the number with fingers that feel like sausages. "Code red," I say when someone picks up. "King's Auto, Highway 47, stay put. 20 minutes. King's already hauling my car into the bay, moving faster than a guy his age should. "You got family?" he asks. 19-year-old daughter. She know what mom does for extra cash? That question hits like a gut punch. Emma, my smart, sarcastic, social media-obsessed kid who's been giving me the cold shoulder for months, macking snide comments about me not keeping up with mom's success. Last week she mentioned seeing Ethan's car in our driveway again. Ethan, Clara's coworker at Morrison & Associates. Smooth, loaded, the kind of guy who wears $1,000 suits and drives cars worth more than my yearly salary. The kind of guy my wife apparently found more interest in than her blue-collar husband. 20 minutes feels like 20 hours. I'm pacing the oily shop floor, muttering to myself, when I spot M2 black Escalades crawling down the street, windows tinted like rolling coffins. I yell for King, but he's already hitting a button that drops the garage door with a bang. "Back exit," he hisses. "Now." Too late, the Escalades stop. Doors slam like gunshots. My phone buzzes a text from an unknown number. "Bring the package to the back lot. Come alone or your daughter learns what disappointment really means. Ema." They know about Ema. King grabs my arm, grip surprisingly strong. "Don't do it." These people don't negotiate, they eliminate problems. They mentioned my daughter. Then we call that number again. Tell them to hurry. I'm heading for the back door when it bursts open. 3 guys in fancy suits that can't quite hide the bulges under their arms. The kind of guys who smile with their mouths, but not their eyes. "Mr. Morrison," the leader says, his accent just a hint south of the border. "You got something that belongs to us." "I don't know what you're talking about." "The package in your trunk. Your lovely wife put it there. We need it back." So Clara did set me up, turned me into a drug mule without me knowing. The betrayal stings worse than the fear. And if I don't? His smile widens. "Your daughter's a big Instagram poster. Pretty Girls, State U, Morrison Hall, room 47. Morning jog at 7:15 through Riverside Park. They did their homework. King steps forward, bless his greasy heart. You boys need to leave. Now, stay out of this, old man. That's when King hits the panic button. The alarm's loud enough to wake the dead, but more importantly, it's wired to a security company that monitors half the businesses on this strip. 30 seconds later, we hear sirens. The leader's smile falters. This ain't over, Morrison. You got something of ours and we'll get it back. They're gone before the first cop car rolls up, but not before the leader tosses a business card at my feet, no name, just a phone number and an address I don't recognize. The next hour's a blur of cops, questions, and feds who show up like magic the second someone says, cartel package. They open my trunk like they redefusing a bomb and find exactly what King saw, a shoebox-sized package tucked behind my spare tire. How long's this been in your vehicle, Mr. Morrison? No idea. Clara told me to take her car this morning. Said mine was unreliable. The agents exchange looks that say I'm not the first husband caught in this trap. We need to talk to your wife. Good luck. Last I saw her, she was in a hotel room with someone who wasn't me. 6 hours later, they cut me loose with a warning to stay available and a business card from a federal agent named Sarah Shen, who specializes in domestic cartel ops. Turns out using clueless family members as drug mules is getting real common. Your wife's in deep trouble, Mr. Morrison, Agent Shen says as I sign the last of the paperwork. But if she cooperates, helps us ID her contacts, we might work something out. If not, she's looking at 25 to life. I drive home with a police escort. My brain racing faster than the speedometer. Clara betrayed me in ways I'm still unraveling. She put our daughter at risk. She turned me into a criminal without me knowing. But what burns the most is how stupid she must have thought I was, how easy to manipulate, how far under her radar. She's about to learn how wrong she was. Our house looks different when I walk through the front door. Same furniture, same family photos on the mantle, same coffee stain on the carpet from Emma's latte spill last Christmas. But now it all feels like evidence in a crime scene I'm just starting to piece together. Clara's car's in the garage, technically mine since I was driven hers. She's home early from the conference, which makes sense since it was apparently happening in Ethan's hotel room. I find her in the kitchen, still wearing the black dress I saw through the hotel keyhole that morning. She looks up when I walk in, and for a split second, I catch something flash across her face: fear, guilt, or maybe just annoyance that her perfect plan went sideways. Jake, you're back early. How was the trip? The lie slides off her tongue like she rehearsed it. Maybe she did. Interesting, I say, setting my keys on the counter, real deliberate. Car broke down. Had to tow it to King's. Oh no, I'm sorry. I told you that car was unreliable. Yeah, you did. Funny thing, though, they found something real interesting in the trunk. Her hand freezes halfway to her wine glass. What do you mean? I think you know exactly what I mean. We stare at each other across the kitchen island, 18 years of family dinners, homework sessions, quiet talks. Now it feels like a battlefield. I don't know what you're talking about, she says finally. The federal agents who grilled me all afternoon might disagree. Her wine glass slips and shatters on the tile, red wine spreading like blood across the white grout. Federal agents? Her face cycles through white, red, gray. Turns out using your husband as a clueless drug mule is frowned upon by law enforcement. Who'd have thought? Jake, I can explain. Can you? Can you explain why there was a cartel package in the trunk of the car you insisted I drive? Can you explain why 3 armed guys showed up at King's looking for it? Can you explain why they knew Emma's dorm room number? That last one lands hard. Clara grabs the counter to steady herself. They threatened Emma? What did you think was going to happen, Clara? You thought this was some kind of game? Easy side cash while you're screwing your coworker? How'd you know? Marriott downtown, room 4237. Maybe work on your phone voice. She sinks into a kitchen chair like her strings got cut. It wasn't supposed to go down like this. Then how was it supposed to go? Lay it out for me. She's quiet for a long beat, staring at the broken glass and spilled wine. When she looks up, her eyes are harder, like she's made some kind of decision. You wouldn't understand. Try me. You never got what it's like being married to someone with no ambition. No drive, no desire to be more than what you are. The words hit like punches. 18 years of marriage, and that's what she really thought of me? So you decided to commit federal crimes. That's your idea of ambition? I decided to take control of my life. Stop waiting for you to become someone worth being married to. And Ethan? Where's he fit into your big life plan? Ethan gets me. He sees my potential. He sees your potential as a drug mule. It was supposed to be one time, one package, enough cash to start over. Start over without me, you mean? She doesn't deny it. That's when Emma walks in, backpack slung over one shoulder, headphones in, totally oblivious to the domestic apocalypse unfolding in the kitchen. Hey, Dad, Mom? She pulls out one earbud, notices the shattered glass. What happened here? Clara and I lock eyes for a second, united in wanting to shield our daughter from the truth. That moment passes real quick. Your mom's got something to tell you. I say, Jake, don't what? Don't tell our daughter her mom tried to frame me for drug trafficking? Don't mention cartel guys know where she lives? Don't bring up why federal agents spent the afternoon asking about our family? Emma's eyes go wide. What are you talking about? Ask your mom about the package in my trunk. Ask her about Ethan. Ask her about the hotel room. Clara's carefully built world is crumbling in real time. I can see her weighing confession versus damage control. She picks damage control. Your dad's having some kind of breakdown, Emma. He's been paranoid, making accusations. Paranoid? I laugh, but there's no humor in it. Is that what we were calling it when someone finds out his wife's a criminal? Dad, what's really going on? I pull Agent Shen's card from my wallet and hand it to Emma. Call this number. Ask Agent Shen to explain what they found in your mom's trunk today. Ask why I spent 6 hours getting questioned about cartel pill-ops. Emma looks at the card, then her mom, then me. This is real? Real as the 3 armed guys who threatened to hurt you if I didn't cooperate. That settles it. Clara's face twists. I never wanted anyone to get hurt, but you were fine with me going to prison. I thought it'd be clean. Simple. You'd never know. And when I got stopped with pills in my trunk, Ethan said they had people who could make sure it didn't happen. Emma makes a sound like she's been punched. You're cheating on Dad? The silence stretches like a wire about to snap. Emma, it's complicated. I cut her off. Your mom's having an affair with a guy who talked her into using me as a drug mule. When that plan went south, cartel guys showed up looking for their stuff and threatening to hurt you. Ain't complicated at all. Emma looks at her mom with something close to disgust. How could you do this to us? You don't understand the pressure I've been under, the expectations your dad's held me back from for years. So you decided to blow up our family. I decided to save myself. The honesty is brutal. Clara made her choice, and it wasn't us. Emma turns to me. What happens now? Now your mom cooperates with the feds, or she's looking at 25 years. Now we figure out how to rebuild our lives without her. Now we deal with the fact that dangerous people know who we are and where we live. Can I fix this? Clara says, desperate. I can talk to Ethan. I can make this right. You can't fix this, Clara. You can only decide if we gone not help the feds catch the people who put our daughter in danger or protect the guy you were willing to destroy your family for. Clara's phone buzzes. She looks at it and her face goes paler. What is it? Emma asks. Text from Ethan. Says we need to talk. I hold out my hand. Let me see. She hesitates, then hands it over. Package compromised. Meet me at the usual spot. Come alone. Need to discuss damage control. The usual spot? I ask. Riverside Motel. The kind that rents rooms by the hour and doesn't ask for real names. You're not going. I have to. If you don't, what? He'll be disappointed? Clara, this guy used you to commit federal crimes. He put our daughter in danger. He doesn't care about you. He cares about covering his ass. You don't know him. I know he's willing to let you take the fall. I know he's probably planning to vanish and leave you holding the bag. Her phone buzzes again. Another text from Ethan. If you don't show, I'll assume you're talking to the cops. That'd be unfortunate. Emma reads it over my shoulder. He's threatening us. Yeah, he is. Something shifts inside me. For months, I was the understanding husband, the patient dad, the guy trying to keep the peace and hold the family together. I swallowed Clara's criticisms, her distance, her obvious dissatisfaction with our life. I made excuses for her behavior and blamed myself for her unhappiness. But threatening my daughter? That's a line nobody crosses. Here's what's going to happen, I say, surprised at how calm I sound. You're calling Agent Shen and telling her about these texts. You're cooperating fully with the investigation. You're helping them catch Ethan and whoever else is involved. And if you don't, you can explain to Emma why you picked your criminal boyfriend over your family's safety. Clara looks at Emma. searching for any sign of support. Emma's expression is stone cold. I can't believe you did this to us, she says quietly. I can't believe you put us in danger for some guy. Emma, please. That's right. You gotta choose them or us. Clara stares at her phone, then Emma, then me. I can see the gears turning, trying to find an angle to have it both ways. There isn't one. I need time to think. You don't have time. Agent Shen needs to know about these texts now. What if I can talk Ethan into just leaving? What if we all disappear and pretend this never happened? Clara, listen to yourself. You're talking about running off with a guy tied to cartels. You be talking about ditching your daughter and torching what is left of your family for someone who has already shown he'd low throw you under the bus. He loves me. The words hang in the air like a bad smell. Emma actually laughs. Mom, he's using you, you don't see it? Dad's right. He's probably packing a bag and planning to pin it all on you. Her phone buzzes a third time. Time's up. Make your choice. I make it for her. I grab the phone and dial Agent Shen. Agent Shen, Jake Morrison. My wife just got some threatening texts from her contact. We need to talk. Clara glares at me like she hates me. You have no idea what you just did. I protected our daughter. Something you should have thought about before getting mixed up with criminals. This isn't over, Jake. You're right. It's just getting started. 40 minutes later, Agent Shen rolls up with 2 other feds in a surveillance van disguised as a cable repair truck. They set up in our living room like they're planning a military op, which, in a way, they are. Mrs. Morrison, Shen says, all business. We need you to reply to Mr. Gare. Ethan's last name is Gare. Somehow, knowing that makes him seem less threatening and more pathetic. Ethan Gare, homewrecker and pill pusher. What do you want me to say? Tell him you're coming. But say you need to meet somewhere public, not a motel. Suggest the parking lot behind your law office. Why there? Because we've been watching that spot for 3 weeks. Clara's head snaps up. You've been watching my office? Mrs. Morrison, your boyfriend ain't as clever as he thinks. We've been tracking his operation for months. Only reason we haven't moved in is we were trying to ID all the players. What do you mean? Shen exchanges a look with her team. Mr. Gare isn't the boss of this operation, middle management at best. We need to know who's giving him orders. I don't know anything about that. Maybe not consciously, but you've been to meetings, dinners, social events. You've met his friends, his contacts. We need you to help us identify them. Clara looks genuinely confused. What meetings, what contacts? Ethan and I mostly met at hotels. And what about Leah Brennan? The name hits Clara like a slap. What about her? She's your best friend, right? The one who introduced you to Mr. Gare. I watch Clara's face cycle through confusion, realization, horror. Leah introduced us at a charity event last year, but she's not involved. She can't be. Mrs. Morrison, Leah Brennan owns 3 shell companies we've traced to cartel money laundering. She owns the lakefront mansion where your boyfriend's been stashing product. She's been using your law firm's client accounts to move money. That's impossible. Think about it. How'd you really meet Mr. Gare? Who suggested you start seeing him? Who knew about your marriage troubles? Who had access to your office, your files, your client info? Clara slumps onto the couch like she's been hollowed out. Elle's my best friend of 10 years. She's been using you for 10 years, Shen corrects. The pill run, the plan to frame your husband, it was all designed to give her full access to your legal practice and your family's assets. Emma speaks up from the corner where she's been listening in horrified silence. What do you mean, our assets? Shen turns to her. Your mom has power of attorney over your college fund, your dad's retirement account, and the equity in this house. If your dad had been arrested and convicted, it'd all fall under your mom's control, and then Leah would have had access through her. I feel sick. The betrayal keeps getting deeper, more elaborate, more devastating. My wife didn't just have an affair, she was an unwitting pawn in a plan to steal everything we built over 18 years. Clara, I say quietly. Call Ethan, set the meet. I can't. If Leah's really involved, if she's been using me, then help us stop her. Clara stares at her phone like it's a venomous snake. What if they hurt Emma? They already threatened Emma, I remind her. The only way to protect her now is to help the feds shut this down. Shen leans in. Mrs. Morrison, you need to understand these people aren't just gonna walk away. They've invested too much, they know you can identify them. Your only options are help us take them down or spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder. What about witness protection? For a money laundering op? Probably not. But if you help us dismantle the whole network, we can work a plea deal that keeps you out of federal prison. Clara types a message. Can't meet at the motel. Too risky after today. Parking lot behind my office? 1 hour? The reply's instant. Fine. Come alone. He's agreeing to meet, Clara says. Good, now we gotta talk about what you're gonna say. The next hour's like a crash course in undercover work. Shen coaches Clara on how to get Ethan talking, how to ask questions that'll get incriminating answers, how to use the wire they're giving her without being obvious. Emma and I watch from the kitchen, both struggling to process how our quiet suburban life turned into a federal investigation. Dad, Emma says quietly. We gonna be okay? I don't know, kiddo, but we'll figure it out. If your mom goes to prison, we'll deal with that too. She's quiet for a minute. I'm sorry I've been such a brat lately. You weren't. Yeah, I was. Mom kept saying you were holding her back, that you weren't ambitious enough, that she deserved better. I believed her. She's your mom. Of course you did. But she was wrong. You're not what broke our family. I pull Emma into a hug, and for the first time in months, she doesn't pull away. We'll get through this, I say. Whatever happens, we'll get through it. Clara appears in the doorway, looking pale but determined. I'm ready. Shen's right behind her. Remember, we need him talking about the operation, who's in charge, future plans. The more he says, the stronger the case. If he suspects anything, stick to the story. You're scared about what happened today. You want to know the plan. You need assurances your family's safe. Clara nods and heads for the door. I grab her arm as she passes. Clara, be careful. She looks at me with something that might be gratitude. Jake, I know I can't fix what I did, but I never wanted Emma hurt. I know. And I never wanted to hurt you either. I just lost my way. Yeah, you did. She walks out and Shen's team springs into action. Surveillance monitors light up, radio chatter fills the air, and suddenly our living room's like something out of a cop show. Emma and I sit on the couch, watching our lives play out on federal equipment. This is so weird, she mutters. Yeah, it really is. On the monitor, we see Clara's car pull into the parking lot behind Morrison and Associates. The irony ain't lost on me. The law firm with my name's about to be the stage for my wife trying to take down the criminals using her. Shen points to another monitor. Black BM, that's Gare. Ethan Gare looks exactly like what he is. A middle-aged guy trying too hard to seem young and successful. Expensive suit, expensive car, expensive watch. The kind of guy who thinks money can buy anything, including other people's wives. Audio's coming in clear, another agent reports. Clara's voice, nervous but steady. Ethan, I'm here. Jesus, Clara, what the hell happened today? I've been getting calls all afternoon. The package got found. Jake's car broke down and the mechanic saw it. How the fuck did a mechanic know what it was? I don't know, but there were federal agents, Ethan. They questioned Jake for hours. He talk? He didn't know anything to tell, but they know about us. They know about the package, they know about everything. Long pause. Then Ethan's voice colder. What did you tell them? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Good, 'cause if you did, if you said anything that compromises this operation, you'll threaten my daughter again. I'll do what I gotta do to protect myself. Clara, you knew the risks when you agreed to help. I agreed to help you, not some cartel. You agreed to make money. You agreed to a better life. How do you think that was gonna happen? Shen's scribbling notes like crazy. This is Gold Ethan admitting the operation, the threats, Clara's involvement. What happens now? Clara asks. Now you keep your mouth shut and wait for instructions. Laya's handling damage control. Laya? What's Laya got to do with this? Ethan laughs, no humor in it. Clara, you can't be that naive. Who do you think set this whole thing up? Who introduced us? Who suggested using your husband as a mule? Who's been feeding us info on your firm's client accounts? The silence on the audio feed is deafening. Laya's been planning this for over a year, Ethan goes on. The affair was her idea. Getting you emotionally invested was her idea. Even framing Jake was her idea. But she's my friend. She's a businesswoman. And you were a useful asset. Past tense, Clara. You're compromised now. The feds are watching you. Your husband knows about the operation, and your daughter's become a liability. What do you mean, a liability? I mean, she knows too much and ain't exactly keeping quiet about it. One of Shen's agents curses under his breath. He's talking about eliminating witnesses. On the monitor, Clara's backing away from Ethan. You're talking about hurting Emma. I'm talking about protecting a multi-million-dollar operation. I won't let you hurt my daughter. You don't got a choice. Clara, you're in this all the way now. Either you're part of the solution or you become part of the problem. And if I refuse? Then Laya deals with you the same way she's planning to deal with Jake. That's enough for Shen. She's on her radio. All units, move in now. We got enough. The next few minutes are chaos. On the monitor, we watch feds swarm the parking lot. Ethan tries to run, but doesn't make it 3 meters before he's face down on the concrete zip-tied. Clara's frozen in the middle of it all, looking lost and terrified. We got him, Shen says, satisfied. And we got everything we need on tape. What about Leah? I ask. That's next. But first, we gotta get your family somewhere safe. If Gare was telling the truth about kill orders, you're all in immediate danger. Ima grabs my arm. Dad, what's happening? We're leaving, now. Shen's already on her radio, arranging safe houses and protection details. In minutes, our quiet suburban night turns into a multi-part federal op. Pack light, Shen tells us. Just the essentials. We'll come back for the rest later. As Ima runs upstairs for clothes and toiletries, I stand in the living room, staring at 18 years of accumulated life family photos. Ima's grade school art, the couch where Clara and I used to watch movies. It all feels like artifacts from someone else's life. Mr. Morrison, Shen says, you need to know your wife probably saved your lives tonight. Whatever else she did, she made the right choice when it counted. Yeah, well, it's a little late for that. Maybe. But it's not too late to keep your family safe. Ima comes down with a backpack, tears in her eyes. We coming back here someday? I don't know, kiddo. But wherever we go together. As we follow Shen to the waiting cars, I take one last look at the house where I thought I was building a life, where I believed in trust, loyalty, family. Tomorrow we'd start over. Tonight, we were just trying to survive. The safe house is a bland rental in a cookie-cutter suburb that looks like it was built by someone who never had an original idea. Shen calls it secure. I call it depressing. Ima and I sit at a kitchen table straight outta an 80s time capsule, picking at takeout Chinese while feds monitor radio chatter and update threat assessments. Clara's at a federal facility across town, getting debriefed on every detail of her relationship with Ethan and Laya. Your wife's been real cooperative, Shen tells me around midnight. She's giving us details on financial transactions, meeting locations, people she met through Gare and Brennan. It's enough to make arrests. We got Gare tonight, but Brennan's trickier. She's already moving assets, closing accounts, covering her tracks. We gotta move fast. What do you need from us? Actually, something specific from you, Mr. Morrison. Your wife says you've been to Brennan's lake house for dinners. I remember Laya's casual get-togethers, always with people I didn't know, and conversations that stopped when I walked in. Clara always said I was being paranoid. Turns out paranoid was just paying attention. Yeah, a few times. Why? We need someone who can get inside someone she won't suspect. You want me to go back there? We want you to deliver a message from your wife. Laya doesn't know we got Gar, and she doesn't know your wife's cooperating. Far as she knows, you're still the clueless husband who got lucky today. Ima looks up from her homework. This sounds dangerous. It is, Shen admits, but it might be our only shot at grabbing her before she bolts for good. What kind of message? Clara's scared. She needs to meet Laya to figure out what's next. She is worried about her family's safety and wants assurances the heat'll all die down. While you're delivering that message, our surveillance team will be recording everything. We hoping Brennan says something incriminating or tips her hand about the bigger operation. I look at Ima, who's trying to look brave and failing. What if something goes wrong? We'll have agents all around the property. First sign of trouble, we move in. Dad, you don't have to do this. Yeah, I do. Your mom got us into this mess. Least I can do is help get us out. Shen spreads out aerial photos of Laya's lakefront property. 5 acres, mostly wooded. Main house, guest cottage, boat dock. Brennan lives alone but employs a gardener and housekeeper who live off-site. Security standard home system cameras, motion sensors, no armed guards. She's kept up the image of a successful businesswoman, blending in with other professionals. When do we do this? Tomorrow morning. We'll have Clara call Brennan first, set the meet. Then you drive over and deliver the message. Ima grabs my hand. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise. But we both know promises are cheap. The next morning comes too soon, with too much coffee. Shen's team spent the night prepping surveillance gear and coordinating with local law enforcement. I feel like an actor getting fitted for a role I never auditioned for. Remember, Shen says as she wires me up, you're the worried husband who's in over his head. You don't know nothing about the bigger operation. You're just trying to protect your family. That part won't require much acting. Good. Brennan's smart but arrogant. She thinks she's been playing you and your wife for months without you noticing. Use that. Clara calls Leia at 9 a.m. from the federal facility, agents coaching her every word. Leia, it's Clara. I need to see you. Something happened. Leia's voice comes through the speakerphone, smooth and concerned. Clara, honey, what's wrong? Can't talk about it on the phone. Can I come to the lake house? Absolutely. When? This morning. I know it's short notice, but... Clara, you're scarring me. You okay? I will be once I talk to you. Come in now. Make coffee. After Clara hangs up, Shen turns to me. Your turn. Drive over in an hour. Tell Brennan Clara sent you 'cause she was too upset to drive. Stick to the script. The script's simple. Clara's fallen apart after yesterday. She's scared the cops will tie her to Ethan. She needs Leah's advice on what to do next. I drive Clara's car, the same one that had cartel pills in it less than 24 hours ago. The irony ain't lost on me. Leigh's lake house is exactly the kind of place that screams, I got money, but I want you to think it's legit. Elegant, pricey, but not flashy. The kind of place a successful money launderer buys to blend in with other high-end professionals. Leia answers the door herself, looking concerned and maternal in a sweater that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Jake, where's Clara? She's at home, losing it. Sent me instead. Leah's expression shifts just a hair, and I catch a glimpse of something calculating behind the concerned friend act. Come in. Tell me what happened. The living room's all exposed beams and tasteful art, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the lake. The kind of room designed to make visitors feel impressed and a little intimidated. Clara's in trouble, Leia. Bad trouble. What kind of trouble? Cops found pills in my car yesterday. They think Clara's involved somehow. Leia sits across from me, her face a perfect mask of shock and concern. Pills? That's impossible. Clara would never... They also think she's having an affair. Jake, that's ridiculous. Is it? 'Cause they seem real sure about her relationship with someone named Ethan Gare. I watch Leia's face close, looking for any tell. She's good, but not perfect. There's a flicker recognition, maybe calculation. I don't know anyone by that name. Really? 'Cause Clara said you introduced them. I think Clara's confused. She's probably scared and not thinking straight. Maybe, but the cops seem pretty certain about their info. Leia stands and walks to the window, staring out at the lake. Jake, I think Clara might be having some kind of breakdown. The stress of her job, the pressure she's been under. What pressure? You know how demanding her work is, long hours, tough clients. She's been struggling enough to get mixed up with pill traffickers? Leia turns, and for just a second, I see something cold and predatory in her eyes. Is that what you think? That Clara's involved with drug dealers? I think Clara's in over her head with something she can't handle. And I think she needs help from someone she trusts. Clara's like a sister to me. Of course I'll help her. Good, 'cause she's scared, Leia. Real scared. She thinks these people might hurt our family. What people? The people Ethan works for. The ones who put pills in my car. Leia's quiet for a long beat, and I can almost see her weighing options, calculating risks. Jake, I think you should take Clara and Emma away for a while. Get out of town, let things cool off. You mean run? I mean protect your family. From who? From whoever is trying to frame Clara for something she didn't do. It's a solid answer, but it comes half a second too late. Leia knows more than she's letting on, and we both know it. Clara wants to meet you tonight, I say. Says she needs to tell you everything. Everything about what? About Ethan, the pills, whatever she's gotten herself into. Leia nods slowly. Where's she want to meet? Here. Says she feels safe here. Fine, what time? 8 o'clock. She be waiting. I stand to leave, then turn like I just thought of something. Leia, if Clara's mixed up in something illegal, if she's made mistakes, you'd tell me, right? You'd help me protect Emma? Her smile's warm, comforting, and totally fake. Jake, I'd do anything to protect your family. Clara and Emma mean the world to me. Good. 'Cause if anything happens to him. If anyone hurts him because of this mess, I won't be responsible for what I do. It ain't in the script, but it feels right. The worried husband pushed to the edge, making threats he might not be able to back up. Laya's smile falters just a bit. Nothing's gonna happen to them. Jake, I promise. I leave her standing in that fancy living room, staring at the lake and probably planning how to eliminate the problems Clara and I have become. Back at the safe house, Shen's reviewing the audio with her team. She knows, I say. She knows about Ethan, the operation, everything. But she didn't say anything actionable. She was careful. So what happens tonight? Tonight, your wife goes in wired and tries to get Brennan to confess something we can use. Emma looks up from her homework. Even federal investigations can't get her out of college assignments. What if Laya's suspicious? What if she knows it's a trap? Shen's honest. Then things get complicated. Complicated how? Complicated like your mom might be walking into a situation she can't get out of. The weight of that settles over all of us. Clara made terrible choices, betrayed our family in ways I'm still uncovering, but she's still Emma's mom. She's still the woman I loved for 18 years. And tonight she's risking her life to fix what she broke. There's gotta be another way, Emma says. There is, Shen replies. But it means letting Brennan disappear and spending the rest of your lives wondering when she might decide you know too much. That night, as Shen's team preps for the op at Laya's lake house, I sit with Emma and try to explain how we got here. Your mom made some bad choices, I say. But she's trying to make him right. What if she doesn't come back? Then we figure out how to move forward without her. I don't want to lose her. Dad, even after everything, I don't want to lose her. Me neither, kiddo. Me neither. At 7:30 p.m., Clara leaves the federal facility in an unmarked car. We're in a wire and carrying recording equipment that could put Laya and herself away for 25 years if it works if she lives long enough. Emma and I sit in the safe house, listening to radio chatter and watching surveillance monitors, waiting to see if our family'll still exist by morning. At 7:47, Clara's car pulls into Laya's driveway. Shen's surveillance team's been in position for 2 hours, hidden in the woods around the house with enough recording gear to catch a whispered confession from 100 yards. Audio check, Shen says into her radio. Clara's voice comes through clear. Testing, you guys hear me? Loud and clear. Remember, we need her talking about the money laundering, using your firm, the plan to frame your husband. Get specific details. I got it. On the monitor, Clara walks to the front door. She looks small, vulnerable, nothing like the confident lawyer who's been lying to me for months. Laya answers instantly, like she's been waiting. Clara, honey, come in. You look awful. I feel awful. They moved to the living room where I sat that morning, delivering messages and trying not to get killed. Now Clara's taking the same risk with way higher stakes. Tell me what's going on, Laya says, pouring wine from a bottle that probably costs more than most people's car payments. Everything's falling apart, Laya. The cops, the questions, Jake's suspicions. I don't know what to do. Start from the beginning. Clara takes a shaky breath. Yesterday morning, Jake drove my car to surprise me at the conference, but there was no conference. I was with Ethan. Oh, Clara. The car broke down, and when the mechanic looked in the trunk, he found something. A package. Pills. Laya sets her wine glass down real deliberate. That's impossible. That's what I thought. But the cops, the federal agents, they knew about Ethan. They knew about us. They knew things I never told anyone except you. What are you saying? I'm saying someone set this up. Someone put that package in my car, knowing Jake'd be driven it. Someone wanted him caught. Laya's quiet for a long beat. When she speaks, her voice is colder, more calculating. Clara, you're not thinking clearly. You're scared and looking for someone to blame. I am. 'Cause the more I think about it, the less it adds up. How'd Ethan know Jake was talking my car? How'd he know about Jake's surprise plan? How'd he know exactly when and where to plant that package? Maybe Ethan's smarter than you gave him credit for, or maybe someone told him. The silence between them is like a wire about to snap. Clara, you need to be real careful about the accusations you're making, especially to the cops. Is that a threat, Laya? It's advice from someone who cares about you. Clara stands and walks to the same window Leah stared out of that morning. You remember when we met 10 years ago at that charity event? You seemed to know so much about me, my marriage, my career, my finances. I thought you were just good at reading people. I am good at reading people. Or maybe you were already watching me, studying me, looking for weaknesses to exploit. Clara, you're being paranoid. Am I? 'Cause I've been thinking about all the times you encouraged me to complain about Jake. All the times you said I deserved better. All the times you pushed me to take risks, to want more than I had. Lia's mask is slipping. I was being a good friend. Were you? Or were you setting me up? That's ridiculous. Clara turns from the window to face her. You introduced me to Ethan. You encouraged the affair. You even helped me figure out how to access our joint accounts without Jake knowing. You weren't helping me find happiness. You were setting me up. Lia stands slowly, and I can see the calculation in her posture. Clara, I think you should leave now. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me the truth. Truth about what? About the money laundering. About using my law firm to move pill money. About the plan to frame Jake and steal our assets. Lia goes still. I don't know what you're talking about. The feds know about the shell companies, Lia. They know about the client accounts. They know about everything. If they know everything, why are you here? Because I want you to admit it. I want you to say you destroyed my family for money. Lia walks to a cabinet and pours herself a drink from a crystal decanter. Her hands are steady, but I can see the tension in her shoulders. You want the truth, Clara? Fine, here's the truth. Shen leans forward, listening close. The truth is you were perfect for what I needed. Unhappy marriage, access to client funds, flexible ethics when it came to your own desires. You made it easy, so you set me up. I gave you opportunities. You chose to take him. And Jake? The plan to frame him? Jake was a problem that needed solving. He was too observant, too protective of you and Emma. Long as he was around, there were limits to what you'd do. So I decided to remove an obstacle. Clara's voice shakes with anger or fear or both. And Emma? What about my daughter? Emma would have been taken care of. She'd have had access to your assets, your life insurance, everything. Just with different guardians. You mean you? I mean people who understood the value of what she'd inherit. The confession is everything we hoped for, but it's also a death sentence for Clara if Lia decides she's said too much. The feds arrested Ethan last night, Clara says quietly. Lia's drink stops halfway to her lips. What? They've got him in custody. He's probably telling them everything right now. That's impossible. Ethan wouldn't. Ethan will do whatever it takes to save himself. Just like you would. Lia sets her drink down and walks to the window, staring out at the dark lake. When she turns, her face has changed completely. The friendly mask is gone, replaced by something cold and predatory. How many feds know? All of them. Including my cooperation. Lia nods slowly. I see. She walks to another cabinet, opens it, and pulls out not a decanter, but a small safe. From the safe, she takes a pistol. Lia, what are you doing? Solving a problem? Shen's already on her radio. All units, move in now. Suspects armed, but the lake house is 5 acres, and Shen's team is positioned for surveillance, not immediate intervention. You don't have to do this, Clara says, backing toward the door. Actually, I do. See, dead people can't testify, and accidents happen all the time at lake houses. Tragic slip and fall, head injury, so sad. The feds know I'm here. They'll now find your body tomorrow morning and assume you had an unfortunate accident while trying to warn me about their investigation. Lia raises the gun just as the front door explodes inward. I'm watching the monitors, hearing the audio, and when I see Lia pull that gun, something in me snaps. All the months of feeling inadequate, all the betrayal, all the fear for my daughter's safety, it crystallizes into one burning need to act. I bolt from the safe house against Shen's direct orders, drive Clara's car to the lake house, and get there just in time to hear Leah threaten to kill my wife. Whatever Clara did, whatever she put our family through, she's still Emma's mom, and nobody's hurting her while I can do something about it. I hit that door like a freight train, 18 years of frustration and rage behind the impact. Leah spins, gun up, but she's focused on Clara and ain't ready for a new threat. I tackle her before she can adjust her aim, and we crash hard onto the expensive hardwood. The gun skitters across the room as we grapple. She's smaller than me, but desperate, scratching and kicking like a cornered animal. I manage to pin her arms, but she frees a leg and knees me in the ribs hard enough to make me see stars. Jake! Clara screams. Lia breaks free and scrambles for the gun. I grab her ankle and drag her back, but she kicks me in the face with her free foot. Blood pours from my nose as I lunge forward, trying to reach the gun before her. We both grab it at the same time. Her finger finds the trigger just as I twist her arm. The shot goes wide, shattering one of those fancy floor-to-ceiling windows. Then Shen's team bursts in from every entrance, front door, back door, broken window. Tactical gear, automatic weapons, voices barking commands. Federal agents! Drop the weapon! Laya looks around the room, taking in the overwhelming force, and makes a choice that shocks everyone. She smiles. You think this ends with me? She says, still holding the gun but not aiming it at anyone. You think locking me up stops the operation? Drop the weapon, Shen repeats. This is bigger than me, bigger than Ethan. Bigger than any of you understand. Last warning. Laya looks at Clara, then me, then the agents surrounding her. Clara, honey, she says, almost conversational. You have no idea what you've gotten into. Then she turns the gun on herself. Shen moves faster than I thought possible, knocking Laya down and wrestling the gun away before she can pull the trigger. In seconds, Laya's face down with zip ties around her wrists. Laya Brennan, you're under arrest for money laundering, conspiracy, attempted murder, and about 15 other federal charges I'll think up on the way to the station. On the way out, Clara collapses into one of Laya's pricey chairs, shaken from adrenaline and relief. I sit on the floor bleeding from my nose, trying to process what just happened. Mr. Morrison, Shen says, you realize you just compromised a federal investigation and put yourself and your wife in mortal danger? Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta choose between following orders and protecting your family. Shen looks like she wants to arrest me too, but settles for shaking her head. Next time, let us handle it. Next time, don't let it get to the point where someone's about to execute my wife. Clara looks at me with something. That might be gratitude or shock. Jake, you saved my life. Yeah, don't read too much into it. I did it for Emma, but that ain't entirely true, and we both know it. While the feds process the scene and haul Laya away, I call Emma from Laya's landline. Dad, what's going on? We lost audio. It's over, kiddo. Your mom's safe. Laya's in custody. It's done. Emma starts crying, and I realize I'm crying too. You coming home? I look around Laya's wrecked living room, agents collecting evidence, Clara giving her statement, shattered window, blood on the floor. Yeah, kiddo. We're coming home. 3 hours later, we're back at the safe house. Clara's giving a detailed statement about everything Laya confessed. Shen's coordinating with other agencies to unravel what's now a multi-state money laundering op. Emma and I are sitting at that ugly kitchen table trying to figure out what comes next. Is Mom going to prison? Emma asks. I don't know. Probably not if she keeps cooperating, but our life like it was? That's over. What do you mean? I mean, I can't trust her anymore, Emma. I can't be married to someone who is willing to destroy our family for money and thrills. Emma's quiet for a long time. You're getting divorced? Yeah, I think so. But you saved her life tonight. I saved your mom's life. That doesn't mean I can forgive what she did to us. Emma nods slowly. I get it. You do? Yeah. You can love someone and still not be able to live with them. Exactly. Clara appears in the doorway, looking exhausted and older than her 42 years. Emma, can I talk to your dad alone for a minute? Emma looks at me. I nod. She kisses my cheek and heads to her room. Clara sits across from me at the ugly table. Thank you, she says simply. You're welcome. I know it doesn't change anything. No, it doesn't. I know I destroyed us. I know you can't forgive me. Clara, you were willing to let me go to prison for 25 years. You were willing to let criminals threaten our daughter. You were willing to steal everything we built together. And you did it all for a guy who was using you and a woman who was planning to kill you. I know. Do you? Do you really get what you did? She's quiet for a long beat. When she speaks, her voice is barely a whisper. I get that I threw away 18 years of marriage for a fantasy. I get that I put our daughter in danger for money that was never coming. I get that I trusted people who saw me as nothing more than a useful tool. And I get that you've got every right to hate me. I don't hate you, Clara. I hate what you did. I hate the choices you made, but I don't hate you. What happens now? Now you finish cooperating with the feds. You testify against Laya and Ethan and whoever else is involved. You help them shut this operation down for good. And then we get divorced. We figure out custody for Emma. We split whatever assets are left after legal fees. We try to build separate lives. Clara's tears spill over. I'm so sorry, Jake. I really am. I know you are. Is there any chance? No. The finality of that one word hangs between us like a wall. I'll always love you, Clara says. I'll always love who you used to be. She walks out of the kitchen, and I sit alone at the ugly table, thinking about second chances, broken trust, and the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. 6 months later, the divorce is final. Clara got a suspended sentence in exchange for her cooperation, which ultimately took down a money laundering network spanning 5 states. Leah Brennan's doing 25 in federal prison. Ethan Garr vanished into witness protection after giving up cartel intel. Emma's living with me in a new house across town, going to college, slowly rebuilding her relationship with her mom. Clara moved to another state to start over, working for a nonprofit that helps families hit by financial crimes. The irony ain't lost on any of us. I'm sitting in my new living room, reading a book, enjoying the quiet when Emma gets back from a study group. "How was your day?" I ask. "Good. Mom called." "How's she doing?" "Better, I think. She's been clean 6 months now." Clean is how we talk about Clara's recovery from her addiction to thrills and danger that nearly destroyed us all. I'm glad. Emma sits on the couch next to me. "Dad, you ever regret saving her that night?" "No. You think I should?" "No, I think you did the right thing. Even if you couldn't stay married to her, she's still my mom. And she's still the woman you loved for 18 years. Exactly. And I think what you did, saving her life even after everything she did, I think that says something important about who you are." "What's it say?" "It says you're the kind of man who keeps his promises, even when it's hard. Even when the other person doesn't deserve it." I look at my daughter, this smart, strong young woman who survived her family's implosion, and somehow came out with her integrity intact. "I promise to protect my family, Emma. All of it. Even the parts that were trying to destroy themselves." "I know. And that's why I'm proud to be your daughter." That night, after Emma's asleep, I stand in my backyard, looking up at the stars, thinking about the choices that define us. Clara chose excitement over stability, fantasy over reality, strangers over family. Those choices had consequences we're all still living with. But I made choices too. I chose to fight for my family even when my family was fighting itself. I chose to save the woman who betrayed me because it was the right thing to do, not because she deserved it. In the end, those choices defined who I was just as much as Clara's defined her. I lost my wife, my marriage, the life I thought I was building. But I kept my daughter's respect, my own integrity, and the knowledge that when it mattered most, I chose to be the man I wanted to be instead of the man my circumstances were pushing me to become. It wasn't the ending I planned, but it was an ending I could live with. Over time, I learned real strength comes from faith and forgiveness, even when the world feels like it's crumbling. As someone who loves sharing gospel music stories on YouTube, I see tales like this as reminders that God can turn pain into purpose. I recommend checking out Fruitful by Andre Crossa Classic about overcoming and trusting the Lord through life storms. Hit subscribe on gospel channels for more songs that inspire redemption and peace in your heart.